Resume recording. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so something wrong here. Let me close it down. Very weird. Okay, let me close it down. Okay. Yeah. Sarva Shastram Viyusha Sarva Vedika Satpala Sarva Siddhanta Ratnadya Sarva Loke Kadripada. So, okay, so this is, because I noticed as soon as I try to highlight the size, it messes up. It's very weird. Like for instance, look, I do like this.
We can make it bigger in our screen, so it's okay.
Okay, so we discussed the first 3 chapters. Obviously, it was the superiority of Bhakti Yoga. We discussed at length. Remember the focus on the Paramatma, then focus on the Virat, then the Paramatma, and of course the Dharanashraya. That was part of the questions.
Yes.
Dharanashraya, very important term. Then the Krama Muktas, we discussed all these paths. There's a slow path and a fast lane, Jnana Marg. Yeah. And then now we're entering the second portion of the second canto. See, there's only 10 chapters in the second canto, and it's divided in 3 sections. So now we are just entering that second portion, which is going to last for 3 chapters. Sarga and Visarga. Remember, Sarga, primary creation, Visarga, secondary creation. And it's going to be Narad, Brahma and Narad, Sampada. It's going to be Samvata, it's called. So a discussion, you will see. And dealing with Shrishti Tattva. Shrishti Tattva means creation.
Creation.
Shrishti, Stiti, in Brahma Samhita, there's a verse. So we are right there, beginning of the 4th chapter. So Parikshit is going to inquire, and that is today's lesson, but he wants to know, Sarga, Visarga. We cannot think, oh, it's secondary. If it was secondary, why would it be in the Bhagavatam? And number 2, remember, why is the Bhagavatam considered a Mahapuran? It's not a Puran, it's a Mahapuran. Why?
It has all the essence of all the Vedic literatures.
Yeah, it's got 10 topics. See? Atra Sarga Visarga Shastanam Poshanamutayaha Manvantara Ishanu Katha Mukti Niroda Ashrayaha. A regular Puran has 5 topics. But Srimad Bhagavatam and Vishnu Puran also, they have 10 topics. That make them Mahapuran. And the first 2, Sarga, Visarga, Sarga and Visarga. So it's part of the Bhagavatam. We cannot avoid. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a Mahapuran. And remember, we have to know the different categories before we come to the Satyam Param Dimahi. And Krishna is Satyam Param. So it goes without saying that we have to study the interactions of his energies. And Sarga is definitely, remember the verse 111 in Bhagavatam? Sarga, Tejo Valividam Yata Vinimayo Yatrati Sargo Amrisha. So whatever we see is the interactions of the modes. All these universes, all these trees, all these houses, all these bodies, it's just the interaction of the modes. That's all there is to it. So that's why it's interesting, at least for me, because it tells you about the interactions of the Lord's energies. And of course, we know Shakti, Shaktimatayo Abeda. There's no difference between the energies and the Shaktiman, the possessor. So if you study the energies of God, you cannot say it's bad. It's so you become aware of his heart. Aishvarya Gyan is called Aishvarya Gyan. And you become in awe and reverence. And then, of course, as we move through the cantos, you're going to be reaching the 10th canto, the smile of Lord Krishna. But it's like that. Vyasadeva has arranged the whole Bhagavatam in such a way that the consciousness of the reader will be uplifted. That is why Bhagavatam is not chronological at all, but it is systematic. Systematic in the sense that it's going to gradually prepare your consciousness for the 10th canto. And by the way, the 10th canto is 1/4 of the Bhagavatam. So, yes, we are here, remember? Explain me the details of Sarga, Visarga. And of course, we're going to discuss that today. Shukadev doesn't answer right away. It's not proper to answer right away. Yeah. You have to praise. You have to praise. Okay. So, and Shukadev, before answering, he offers prayers to the Lord. This is a beautiful, appropriate pattern. Before you speak, you offer prayers. That's what we do. So we'll be dealing with those middle section, chapter 4, 5, 6, 7. You will see everything will be there. It's quite technical, I have to admit, but what to do, it is there. The characteristics of the universe. Parikshit will ask many, many, many questions. The shelter of the universe, the creator of the universe, the ingredients of the universe. Where does it go? Where does all the ingredients go at the time of destruction? What does it depend on? And Brahma will reply to his son. He will describe the various incarnations of the soul, of the Lord, super soul, Brahman. And then finally, the last section of the second canto, we are dealing with Chaturshloki, which is extremely important. The seed verse, and they are the bija shloki. So that's the end. That's the program for the. Okay, so let's deal with now the recap. You can tell me what we covered last time.
Prabhu, I think we just did 2, 4, 1 last time, right? We didn't do up to how many chapters?
We
did
covered
do?
up to 8. Let's see. Let me tell you exactly. Up to 8. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No problem.
Up to 8. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So try to sum up what we covered. I don't know if Anishta was there.
I don't think so. She was there. Oh, she was
No,
on the WhatsApp, right?
No, I didn't really follow. The connection was not good, but go ahead, Mataji.
Okay. You know what? I'm not home, so I don't have my file here today. I'm at my daughter's house. So
Oh, you're not in the house.
like I'm not at my house. I'm not at my house. I'm at my
Okay.
daughter's.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't-
So anyway, you can make out by looking at the purport.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I will do it, but it's always good to hear from.
Okay. So here up to, you know what, from chapter 1. Okay, for 241, it was like to become a pure devotee. And it was to be born in a devotee family, a blessing from the bona fide spiritual master. And the 10 topics of Mahapuran, as you said it, and the other 5 topics are from the other ones. And then Parikshit Maharaj, head of Braj, and the key verses for the key verse is chapter 3, right? Okay. And
I'm putting on the screen the recap, if you can look at it.
oh, okay, yes, Sutta Gotami. Okay, now you got it.
Sorry, I moved it, sorry. let me again. This is
Yeah,
so sensitive, huh, this thing. Wow. Go ahead.
we
Okay.
also
Okay, we can see it now.
can add a little bit. Yeah, and also we learned that how Parikshit Maharaj see the process to, yeah, that was, Parikshit Maharaj has a quality which is mentioned, Satim, that is, was chaste in devotional service. And
Yes.
as Mataji mentioned that there's two things that helps one to progress in his spiritual life. First is to be born in a devotee family. That means right from the beginning of your existence, from your birth, you're exposed to Krishna consciousness. So
Yeah.
association of devotees, and then having shelter of a bona fide spiritual master.
Yes.
And we see how Parikshit Maharaj, right from the beginning, he was very Krishna conscious since he had darshan of Krishna when he
Mhm.
was in the womb of his mother. And
Yes.
we see how Parikshit Maharaj is fully preparing himself to only focus his consciousness, his mind, his thought in Krishna. He
Yeah.
easily gave up all his uh, material designation and
Yeah.
even material assets easily. I mean, this is what is explained. And also, we see in life, there is three things: economic development and religion and other. I missed the other one. So it's mentioned by Parikshit
It was
Maharaj.
religion, economic development, and sense gratification.
Yeah, and we see how Parikshit Maharaj is cutting all these uh, cords. I mean, the verses are explaining how Parikshit Maharaj is renouncing one thing after another, dharma, artha, kama,
Yeah.
and how
Yes.
he's preparing his consciousness totally to be fixed in Krishna. And I mean, it's a nicely explained by Prabhupada the process of uh,
Karmakandya Tilaki.
how to become chaste and completely devoted to Krishna.
Yeah. And then you know
Exactly.
what I like in this second I think on the third verse text whatever like they're saying like Prabhupada is saying how Parikshit Maharaj he renounced karma khandya, and then he has got so many examples about Rupa Goswami, Madhavan Puri, and
Yeah.
Baldev Bhushan, like they all it was all true. So like Parikshit Maharaj had in fact renounced the karma khandya, and it was okay.
Yeah. Definitely. So yes.
Madhavendra Puri Prabhu is the guru of Advaita Acharya. Is he the guru of Ishwara Puri also?
Who?
Madhavendra Puri Prabhu.
Oh, Madhavendra Puri Gosai is guru of many. He's the guru of Advaita, Adidas Thakur, Paramananda Puri, Bamananda Puri, Pundarik Vijayanidhi. Is the guru of Nityananda Prabhu. Is Mahaguru. Is in his ontological form is this original desire train Golok Vrindavan.
Oh,
So he came down on this planet. He's a Vishnu Parikar. Is one of the three personalities only who understood that verse that Mahaprabhu was madly chanting. Only that you know that verse of Srimati Radharani when Krishna went to Kurukshetra and she was mad in love, and how can I function without you? So I'm trying to remember the Sanskrit. Dinanath, there's the verse Dinanath. that verse is only understood by three persons: Srimati Radharani, Mahaprabhu, and Madhavendra Puri. So when he was leaving his body, he was chanting that verse, and unfortunately, he had a rascal disciple whose name was Ramachandra Puri. Actually, Ramachandra Puri is Kutila or Jatila, in Krishna Lila. One of the two, I forgot. The mother-in-law of or sister-in-law of Srimati Radharani. So she was quite a troublemaker. And same story, she appeared on this planet in Gaulila as Ramachandra Puri. So when his guru left, he dared to tell him, he was chanting that shlok, which is steeped in Mahabhav. And that foolish disciple told him, no, my dear guru, you have to meditate on Brahman.
Wow.
Madhavendra Puri told him, I don't want to see your face in this universe. Please go. And he was badly cursed, that disciple, Ramachandra Puri. So definitely, Madhavendra Puri Gosai is responsible to have introduced the seed of Madhurya Prem in this universe. So he planted the seed, and Mahaprabhu, that seed fructified through Madhavendra Puri Gosai. Then Ishvara Puri, his main disciple, his favorite disciple, and then of course Mahaprabhu, that seed transformed into a tree. And ISKCON is one of the tree, one of the branches of the tree. Okay, so to go back to the sum up, from 5 onwards, Parikshit is going to ask question, Maharaj. And obviously, that is his prerogative, is the disciple, and he's cursed to die, so he has the right to ask. He's asking about Srishti Tattva. We discussed 5, 6, 7. And of course, first of all, in 5, he glorified his guru, which is totally fine. And is highlighting the fact that this is achintya. Durvibhavyam. Durvibhavyam means achintya. It's inconceivable. Even for demigods. Even, you will see, Brahma himself will acknowledge it's a bit bewildering to me also. He will tell Narada. So no wonder we are bewildered. 6, you can see, it's even inconceivable. How, by his personal energy, is he going to create these phenomenal universes as they are? That's quite dense as a philosophy. Yeah? And of course, 7 is still pondering, is basically pummeling him with questions. Huh? How does he engage his different energies, different expansions, maintaining, winding up the phenomenal world, just like a sporting spirit of a player. So you can see Parikshit Maharaj is quite steeped in wisdom himself. Just, we are still in the beginning of the Bhagavatam, and how much he's loaded himself with knowledge. His questions are extremely pointed. Can you imagine if someone in the class asks you this question? Like 7, So you have to understand, he's Vishnu Rat. He's on the same level as Shukadev Goswami. We shouldn't see any difference. They are on the same spiritual level.
Parikshit Maharaj is just being used as an instrument to give us Srimad Bhagavatam.
Exactly. He saw Lord Vishnu in the womb. Can you imagine? He's extremely.
Yeah, we cannot. Yeah.
Yes.
Transcendental personality.
We cannot say that he became purified after hearing Srimad Bhagavatam.
No.
It was already
Yeah.
clear.
We discussed remember in the first canto, it's very clear. There's one verse, he's going to Golok. He was already fixed in pure Krishna consciousness before.
Yeah.
He's going straight to Golok at the time.
So,
He left the world even before Taksha.
That's right.
Taksha beat him. Can you imagine?
Yes. That's right.
So, and now 8, it's a reminder, then we're going to proceed. 8, even great scholars cannot make it. Nayamatma pravachanena labyo nabedaya nabahuna shrutena tasyesha atma vivinute tanum swam. They cannot make it. It's not by erudite scholarship. It's not by brain power. It is not by prolonged hearing. Tasyasha atma vivinute, only when he condescends to reveal himself to you. Tanum Swami, his own form. You cannot force Krishna. It's impossible. Just like Gita 7:25. Huh? Naham prakasha savasya yogamaya samaritaha. I reserve myself the right to remain hidden.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot force Krishna. Even by bhakti, you cannot force Krishna. It's not a one-arm bandit. Okay, I'm putting a slot in the machine. It's bound to produce something. No, it doesn't work like this.
So at the end of the day, we need to do our part, and ultimately Krishna decides. We
Yeah,
cannot.
like the two fingers of Mother Yashoda when she caught him running, remember?
Mhm.
Two fingers were missing to
To
bind
inches.
the rope, and one finger is the effort, and the other finger is Kripa Shakti. Okay, let's
Mhm.
move on. I would say 9. Yatha gunamstu prakrite yugapat kramasho piva vibharti burishastweka kuvan kamani janmabihi.
The Supreme Personality of Godhead is one, whether He alone acts with the modes of material nature or simultaneously expands in many forms or expands consecutively to direct the modes of nature. Yeah, well, we understand how Krishna is the complete whole. There is one see, sometimes there is this understanding if Krishna is expanding, so part of him are coming out, so Krishna will become less. It's not like that. Even so many
Om
forms.
Purnamada Purnamidam. Yes, exactly. So,
Yeah,
this question is very deep. Huh? Who is speaking? Maharaj Parikshit. So, can you imagine the level of Maharaj Parikshit? It's revealing here in 9. What are the 3 options that he proposes in 9? Try to understand. It's not easy, but I will help you.
what's the question again?
Maharaj Parikshit, it's not a question, it's a statement. What are the 3 statements he ascertains in 9?
See if we try to understand, I mean, he's there, I mean, one of his expansion is in charge of the 3 gunas.
What is the first predicate? He's saying, is he creating alone? Only he is creating. First predicate.
No, he creates, but he also have, like, Brahma is the, how we call him, a secondary creator,
Yes.
and then I mean he has all his other energies.
Yes. So, in other words, he's making 3 statements. And of course, Shukadev Goswami will elucidate. The first predicate is Krishna alone creating through the modes? He acts within the modes. Okay, number 1. Number 2, what is it? Or does he expand himself simultaneously in many forms? That's number 2. Or, number 3, does he expand consecutively to direct the modes? In other words, let me repeat it, the whole thing. Does he create alone? Does he expand himself unlimitedly all at once? Or does he do it through expanding himself one after another? You follow? Number one, does he create alone? This one is simple.
Yes.
Number two, does he expand unlimitedly all at once?
Yes, he can do that.
Number three, does he do it through expanding himself, but one after the other? This is
That
the three
one.
predicates of Maharaj Parikshit.
I bet he can do anything he wants to do.
So now we're going to hear, not immediately, but we're going to hear you're going to see Maharaj Shukadev Goswami is going to glorify Krishna for 11 shlok before answering. See, you have to understand the questions are so lofty. Even Shukadev has to take shelter. You follow? You follow? I mean, who can have such a disciple? Who can have Maharaj Parikshit as a disciple? Please tell me. There's no one. It's so high. So look at the level of the questions. So only someone of the caliber of Shukadev can answer. And you're going to see Shukadev is not going to answer right away, starting from 12. He's going to offer prayers. Can you imagine from 12 up to 24? And then he starts answering. The questions are so loaded. He has to take full shelter to answer. This is the level of Maharaj Parikshit. You follow? So this is high flow philosophy, and these are high flow calibers type of devotees here. So now we could say between 9 and 10, because already Shukadev, as mentioned previously, I think in 8, yes, he said, this is difficult to understand. It's inconceivable. Even great scholars, even demigods cannot understand. The question we could ask ourselves, that the subject matter is very difficult. Even for wise persons, like demigods, sages. So then Shukadev could be asking, why are you asking me then? Because they are so loaded. Why are you asking me? You mentioned yourself, my dear king, that they are difficult, even for demigods, even for great sages. You follow? So, and Shukadev will speak more now. You will see 10. He's going to speak more. But before I do that, I want to go into Vishwanath. Vishwanath paraphrases what I just told you. The 3 predicates of 9. As the Lord, as one, as the Purush, does he support the gunas of Prakriti at one time? Or, without being contaminated as one Purush, does he activate the gunas with his glands and maintain them?
Yeah.
He maintains the gunas as many by the appearance of Brahma, Marichi, and others. Or, number 3, does he do this gradually in sequence? Does he support the gunas? So those questions are so loaded. The answers are going to last 3 chapters. I mean, chapter 4, 5, 6, 7.
Wow.
See, you understand? This is coming from Maharaj Parikshit. He's an extremely advanced person. So to have such a disciple, you need a Mahaguru. You need a Mahaguru. No one can come to that level. The disciple himself is Maha-advanced. So now let's carry on with 10. Vichikshitam etan me bravitu bhagavan yatha shabde brahmani nishnata parasminscha bhavan kalu. Go ahead.
Kindly clear up all these doubtful inquiries, because you are not only vastly learned in the Vedic literatures and self-realized in transcendence, but are also a great devotee of the Lord, and are therefore as good as personality of Godhead. So here Shukdev Goswami is talking to Parikshit Maharaj, because he's as transcendent as him too. So just as you said, that he's a Mahabhagavat, so he needs a Mahabhagavat to talk to, right? So it says, okay, according to the literatures, that the Lord is infallible, and he can expand in innumerable forms. Is not different from one another, and he's very difficult to know the science, and it's always realized by pure devotees. And then they talk about the different forms of Krishna, from Baldev, Sankarsana, Vasudeva, Anuradha, Pradyuman. So they are just Prabhupada is telling us all this, which can be compared to the constant flowing of uncountable waves of the river. Just like there's waves in the sea, so there's so many uncountable forms of Krishna that can expand like that, right?
Yeah.
And then
So let's stick to the homework question, because there's one homework question here.
okay.
Why should Maharaj Parikshit request Shukadev Goswami to clarify his insufficient knowledge about the Lord, since he mentions in 8 that the Lord is inconceivable to mundane wranglers? So why, that's a good question, why he would request Shukadev Goswami to clarify further if the matter itself is inconceivable and extremely lofty?
So why is Shukdev Goswami, he's asked with Shukdev Goswami to clarify?
Yeah, the answer is in 10 in the verse itself. Why?
Because he is Mahapurush, like
Yeah, not only is vastly learned, but the main thing is a great, great devotee. So for that matter, he's as good as Bhagwan. So that's why he's asking it. He's not a Gyani only, Shukadev. He's a great devotee of the Lord.
yes.
So just like Krishna says in the Gita, Mad Bhakta Puja, he has attained the nature of the Lord. Mad Bhavam Agataha, he has attained the nature of the Lord. He's Vasudev consciousness. So then he's entitled to answer. Otherwise, a regular Gyani wouldn't be able to answer. It's impossible. It's too high.
Yeah, because he says he says a powerful devotee of the Lord too, and then
Yeah. So now 10 is quite revealing. First of all, what do we hear? That's another question of the homework. That practically speaking, the devotee become greater than the Lord. Can you give me some instances?
Hanuman,
Haribol Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Haribol.
Yeah, so Hanuman is one. Who else?
Mention also Ambarish Maharaj.
Yeah, exactly.
Mhm.
Aham Bhakta Paradino. Remember, he went, Durvasa went all the way to Vaikunt. He was chased by the chakra, and Lord Narayan told him, Aham Bhakta Paradino. Yes, Vanotra Dvija. I'm not independent at all. I depend on my pure devotee. As if to say, I cannot help you. You go back to Maharaj Ambarish. It's Matpara. I cannot help you. And see, Lord Krishna himself didn't interfere with the with the apparat of Durvasa. I'm totally dependent. is so dependent that the chakra was chasing Durvasa for 1 year. And just with one gesture of his hand, Maharaj Ambarish stopped the chakra. Even the chakra was subservient to Maharaj Ambarish. So you can see, very often times, Krishna lets his devotee take over, him even. Hanuman, Maharaj Ambarish, Hanuman, who else? So many. Prahlad. Yeah. Anyway, if you don't have any further, so we could say, and in the very first paragraph, it is mentioned there. Where is it hidden? Where is it to be searched? The Siddhanta of the Vedas. It appears in the first paragraph. Dhammasya tadvam nihitam guhayam. It's in the heart of the pure devotees. It's not in the Vedas. Vedeshu dulabham adulabham atmamakto. It's in the heart of the pure devotees. Srila Prabhupada, Uddhav, all these great souls. Maharaj Parikshit, Shukadev Goswami. That's where it's hidden. So it's only in the hearts of the acharyas, you know. Living in Vrindavan is like living on the lap of Lord Krishna, basically. Yeah. Or living in Mayapur, you are on the lap of Mahaprabhu.
Well,
Yeah, Burijan Prabhu used to say that. We're living on the lap of Lord Krishna or on the lap of Mahaprabhu when you live in the Dham. Yeah, so let's move on. Then Sutta. Sutta uvach ipyuma pamankrito ragya gunanu katane arehe rishikesha manu smritya pravivaktum prachakrame.
Sutta Goswami said when Sukdev Goswami was thus requested by the king to describe the creative energy of the personality of Godhead, he then systematically remembered the master of the senses, Sri Krishna, and to reply properly, he spoke thus. So as we see here, when Sukdev Goswami was asked the questions, so Prabhupada is mentioning that Krishna being the master of the senses and also Paramatma in the heart, he gives direction to someone to speak. And accordingly, according to the, to the one who has to receive the understanding, so Krishna, he induces the speaker with the particular knowledge to be delivered. So this also explains how the senses of an individual are also not independent. They are Krishna, especially when someone becomes a devotee, Krishna takes charge even for the senses of that devotee.
Exactly. This is well put. It appears in the purport. The senses are instruments and elements are ingredients, all endowed by the Lord.
Yeah.
Therefore, whatever an individual can do, speak, see, etc., is under the direction of the Lord only. What is the verse in the Gita? There's a verse, huh?
Is that the verse? Well, 15.
I was thinking more of
That
13.
verse, no,
Sorry?
not the verse 15.
Yeah,
No.
it's a bit far away. There's one which is much more precise, dealing with instruments, ingredients, and all these things. Remember, whatever is there in the Bhagavatam is backed up by Gita. Karya karana kartridve etu prakritiruchate purusha sukha dukhanam Bhaktidve etuluchate. So this is beautiful verse. Krishna says that karya karma kartridve. In other words, creation, hetu, the two main instruments, prakriti. So, yes, nature, prakriti is hetu, yes, hetu means cause. For all, she's the cause of all material activities. Yes, she's the system, okay? But be careful. Don't think, oh, it's the fault of the nature then. No. Krishna says, Purushat sukha dukhanam bhaktridve heturuchate. See? Very interesting. He says, but be careful, the Purush, the Jivas, they are responsible for sukh and dukh. Bhaktridve heturuchate. They are responsible, they are the cause of their own various sufferings and enjoyments. Nature will cause the system to reciprocate, yes, but you yourself, you are responsible for your own sufferings and enjoyments. You cannot blame Krishna or the neighbor or the president of the country. No. You are the cause. You are hetu for your own lot of suffering and lot of enjoyment. And nature is responsible for the different material activities and their effects. This is a very important verse. You cannot blame God. It doesn't work. The system is there. Nature will provide the different causes of activities and effects. Yes, cause and effects. But you have your free will, how you act. Then you're going to be the hetu. You're going to be the cause, whether you enjoy or suffer. See? So it's mentioned in 11. Now, obviously, if you act for Krishna, then everything comes under the purview of Krishna. Just like Rishikesh. You have seen Rishikesh took over the senses of Arjuna, because Arjuna is totally surrendered. So, in other words, Arjuna was acting through Krishna, was acting through Arjuna.
Prabhu, similarly, Prabhupada's senses were completely directed by Krishna.
Of course.
So when he wrote those books, so Krishna is directing Srila Prabhupada through his heart and senses. So, and Prabhupada many times said not to change anything in his books.
Yeah.
But we have so many pure devotees in the movement. Why they are not intervening for this?
Yeah, it's a big debate for the last so many years and even decades. Yeah, it's, I know the story. He told Jaita Maharaj, you please touch the syntax, okay, the grammar, the flow, the English, yes, but don't touch, he even told him, don't touch, never touch the second canto. Jaita Maharaj,
Yeah.
he told me himself, Prabhupada told him personally, don't touch the second canto, never. It's too complicated. You cannot make it. But you're right. Even he himself has been heavily decried because I was told that he changed some words. So,
many instances like for Hayagriva also, who wrote he dictated the Bhagavad Gita, which Prabhupada wanted. Then Rishikesh Maharaj was saying that he made some changes. Then Prabhupada said, no, we didn't make any changes. It's all good. And recently, 3-4 years, I come across a report for BBT LA.
okay.
Like they made a changes on 434, Tad Vidhi Paripratena, that he has, originally it was he has seen the truth. Prabhupada wrote like this. They changed, they put they have seen the truth.
See? Yeah.
And later, recently, they again changed and they come back to the original sentence.
Which is good.
This is ridiculous, Prabhu.
Yeah, yeah, I
People
know.
are saying all those
I
things
know,
like
I
this.
know. That is why personally I never read in French. I never read the books of Prabhupada in French because that's another layer of uncertainty. So
Mhm.
personally, I read in English. And personally, what I do, as you know, I even double check with the acharyas, and sometimes the acharyas come up with totally different slants, you know. But I know it's a touchy issue. I fully agree. Garud Prabhu and others are against that, and they are very vocal about it. It's a bit beyond me to take sides. All I know is there's certainly truth to it. Definitely. Yeah.
Yes, very
Just to tell you frankly, Prabhu, very often when I study Bhagavatam, my Bhagavatam is from Mumbai. So I found anomalies, to tell you frankly, even in philosophy. I tell Bhim Prabhu is the BBT trustee in Mumbai. He never replies to me. Or when he replies to me, it's just to bless me. No, Prabhu, we cannot do this. And I know I'm right. I know the philosophy well. He doesn't, because they don't want to bother. That's really bad. They don't want to bother.
Mhm.
This is, I mean, it's a reality. I cannot deny.
Mhm.
Sometimes I find incongruities in the English also. Even the English. And no, Prabhu, don't bother. As if to say, don't bother me. You know, it's like that. So now I do it diligently out of respect and dutifulness, but I get no reply.
Mhm.
And he's himself the BBT trustee. Where should I go? Prabhupada? Where should I go?
Mhm.
So, I mean, what's next? Should I leave ISKCON? No. So I carry on, but there's discrepancies here and there, we know.
Mhm.
So,
And even they set up a institution, I forgot, to preserve all what Prabhupada has done and
yeah,
said.
the legacy, yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Of course.
but they are all silent about these things. They don't speak anything about.
That is so it's incumbent upon us because we are the next generation. They're all gonna die within 5-10 years, they're all gone. So it's up to you and me and everyone to make sure we transmit properly to the next generation. Because they're all gonna go. Or property support are gonna go within 5 years or so. So we have to make sure we convey properly. I'm trying to do that, you know, by teaching properly and in accordance with the Tattva.
Mhm.
There's not much we can do because they're running the show for the time being. You know, they are in charge of everything. They're in charge of the BBT, they're in charge of the GBC, they're in charge of. I spoke to Kanai Krishna Prabhu, my good friend. He's himself BBT, he's himself Shastrik counselor. Can you imagine? He's Shastrik counselor to the GBC, to the GBC body.
Mhm.
And his conclusion is the same. They don't want to bother to, you know, to rewrite the whole thing. They are in their late 70s, late 80s. They don't want to bother. They're into Nirjan Bhajan. Yes? I cannot hear.
Mhm.
See, even that Jiva Tattva issue, I always bring it up. See,
Mhm.
many people still believe we fall from Krishna Lok, which is absurd, totally absurd. And I gave a talk the other day. It's all on. It's right there. I quote Jiva Goswami. I quote Jamatrimuni. It's very clear. We are coming from the glance of Mahavishnu, and we're going back to Golok. Yes, 3 times is mentioned in the Gita. But
Mhm.
we cannot fall from Brahman. There's so many anomalies, you know, where devotees are thinking we can fall from Brahman. No, technically we cannot fall from Brahman. We're not coming from Golok. We're going back to Golok, yes. So all these things are very hazy because devotees were not so expert in Sanskrit. Now we have PhD in Sanskrit. Not only PhD, they are devotees. They chant, they are extremely well situated. So they can bring further light. 50 years ago, no one was expert in philosophy.
Mhm.
Now gradually, it's being unearthed, and it's up to us now to convey the proper Siddhanta.
Mhm.
You know what to do. Okay, so let's not be carried away. So here in 11, see, Sutta is intervening here and is telling the consciousness of Shukadev, and Shukadev, starting from next verse, is going to offer 12 shlok of Pranipatana, full surrender, before he answers Parikshit. Those questions we discussed in 9, very lofty, extremely lofty questions. Who can answer those questions? So before answering, he's offering 12 shloks of glorification of Lord Krishna to take shelter. This is the level of Shukadev. He knows, even he knows, I cannot do it. I have to take shelter. Even though he's the son of Vyasadeva. This is his example. Okay, let's get into that. Shri Shuko Vacha Nama Parasme Purushaya Bhuyase Sat Udbhav Stana Niroda Lilaya Grihita Shakti Tritayaya Dehinam Antar Bhava Yanu Palakshya Vartmane.
Okay, Sukadev Goswami said, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who, for the creation of the material world, accepts the three modes of material nature. He is the complete whole residing within the body of everyone, and his ways are inconceivable." So here, Prabhupada is writing here that that material world is a manifestation of the three modes of the nature: goodness, passion, and ignorance. And then there are the three predominating forms: Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Shankara as Vishnu, and everything has, like, every whatever has got Shai Vishnu in there, like every universe has got the Shai Vishnu present. And then the Shirodakshai Vishnu, he enters the body of every living being. So we have a super soul in our heart, and that's what it is all about here.
Yeah.
Hare
So,
Krishna.
my question here was in 12. See, which verb does he use, Shukdev? Accept. We discussed way back very deeply about that verb. Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme, who for the creation of the material world accepts. I want to capitalize on that verb. He accepts the three. What does it mean? We discussed way back, I know.
Is that in first canto?
Wow, very good. Which verse? Beautiful verse. And this is a very important point. Huh? Sattvam rajas tamiti prakriter gunaster yukta parapurusha eka iyasya date. This is the verb. Date
Yeah,
means
that
to accept. To accept.
yeah.
Chichadaye hari virinshi hariti samgya shreyamsi tatrakalo sadvatano ninam shuhu. This is 1-23. So Sutta Goswami is telling there that, See, Krishna is indirectly associated with the modes, the three modes, indirectly. And just for the material world's creation, maintenance, destruction, he accepts, this is the point, he accepts Date to play the roles of the Guna avatars, Brahma, Vishnu, Shiv, Purusha avatar. Just like you accept to play, okay, you are a transcendental professional artist, you accept to play the role of Hitler, you accept to play the role of Julius Caesar, you accept to play the role of, I don't know, Donald Trump. You can play, you can accept so many roles, but you in life you are different. You follow? So Krishna accepts when we say, oh, this is Brahma, oh, this is Vishnu, oh, this is Shiv. He accepts to play all these roles. Actually, he's Krishna himself, but he accepts to play the role. In the same way here, 2, 4, 12, he accepts the three modes of nature, but he remains complete, and his ways are inconceivable. So actually, there's only Krishna. This is the point. There's only Krishna. Full stop. All the rest is energies which emanate from him anyway. So there's only Krishna. You follow? We also energies. Everything is energy. The only person who is not energy is Krishna. Very simple. Either we are energies or we are expansion of the Shaktiman. The Vishnu Tattva are expansions of the Shaktiman. All the rest are energies, including us. Finish. The story is over. So now Shukadev, for certain shlok, is going to offer respects to Bhagavan, Swayam Bhagavan. Parasme, see, it appears in 12, Parasme. Because Bhuya itself, Bhuyase here, Bhuyase, I think it says. Yes. Bhuyase means, is there anyone more complete than Krishna? No. So even Shukadev, Shukadev is such an advanced, Shukadev, remember we discussed 1 to 2? He can enter the hearts of anyone in the universe. Shukadev can enter your heart now, my heart. This is the level of Shukadev Goswami. He can enter the hearts of any jiv. Just like Paramatma, practically speaking, is close to Paramatma, Shukadev. And he himself is taking shelter. For certain shlok. Just imagine. He could say, well, I know the answers. No need to take shelter. Still, he's taking shelter for certain shloks.
Prabhu, I have a question.
Yes.
Krishna is in our heart. He witnesses, as Paramatma. So my question is, Parikshit Maharaj has the ability to enter the heart
Shukadev,
of Jivas.
Shukadev.
Sorry, Sukadev. So what does he do
What does he do when?
when he enters there? If he has the ability
Narad
to
has also
enter.
this ability. Yamaraj has this
Yeah.
ability. Not only he,
So
Yamaraj, Narad.
So what do they do?
Because Shukadev, Narad, they are extremely advanced devotees. They enter, if need be, they can enter your hearts and infuse into you Shakti. See? Like for instance, when Srivas Thakur was a Brahman, he was a Brahma Bandhu before 16. You know that? He was only a Brahman in names. Then he heard the voice. You're going to die in 1 year. You are such a nasty fellow. Srivas Thakur was not Krishna conscious when he was very young. And then, as you know, he felt so bad and fearful. He started to attend the classes of Devananda Pandit. because he knew, now I'm kind of doomed. I know my life is no good. I have to take shelter. And true enough, he was standing on the balcony in the courtyard of Devananda Pandit, and he fell off the balcony. And as he was falling off, Narad Shakti infused within his heart. And he didn't die.
Wow.
And from that time onwards, this is Narad invested into the heart of Srivas Thakur. And remember the story? He had exhibit of pure love of God as he was listening to the Katha. He got thrown out by the disciples of Devananda Pandit. He got thrown out on the street. No one complained, including the Guru. And he went back home. And later, Devananda Pandit contracted severe disease for offending. And then much later, years after, he got forgiven by Mahaprabhu because Devananda Pandit served Vakeshwar Pandit. And that redeemed him. But what I'm trying to say, this is a very good example. Narad entered the heart of Srivas. Srivas was going to die at that time.
But Prabhu, isn't Srivas Thakur incarnation of Devarshinara Muni?
Yeah, but if you want, yes, you're right. From 16 onwards, not from birth. You have to read Chaitanya Bhagavan. See, Srivas was going to die. He heard the voice in the sky, you're going to die in 1 year. So these great lofty personalities, Narad can bring back a dead back to life. Shukadev also. Even Sarangatakur did it in Golila. These are Mahabhagavat. Prabhupada said, Mahaprabhu said, any one of my companions can deliver the whole Brahman in one flick of an eye. This is the level of those devotees. Narad, Shukadev, in one flick of an eye. But today's Ramanujacharya, same level. These are Mahaparshad. Is himself Lakshman Ramanuj. So now basically this is the first shlok, 12. For certain shlok is going to offer respect to Amsh, Amsh of Krishna who is Purushavata. Yes. So Bhuyo Nama Sadvrijna Chidesatam Asambhava Yakila Sadvamurtaye Pumsa Puna Paramahamsya Ashrame Vyavastitanam Anumrigya Dashushe.
You want to read more, Shekhar, Prabhu?
No, you all read. You're taking my turns when I'm ready to read. Continue.
No, merciful, I'm giving you your turn back.
No, continue to read.
See, he comes late, Prabhu, and then we never know who has to read. So
Okay, it's not a big deal.
go ahead, Morshikar, Prabhu.
I again offer my respectful obeisances unto the form of complete existence and transcendence, who is a liberator of the pious devotees from all distresses and the destroyer of the further advances in atheistic temperament of the non-devotee demons. For the transcendentalists who are situated in topmost spiritual perfection, he grants their specific destinations.
Okay.
So here, saying Krishna is so merciful that he even fulfilled the desire of the impersonalists, granting them the residence in his Brahma Jyoti.
Yes.
And
Yeah, so basically, 13, 14, Jiva Goswami explained, they show the goal of the Lord in the form of his Leela avatars. So that Lord destroys suffering of the devotees. Those who follow the Vedic path, Satam it says here. So he gives liberation, asambhavaya, to the demons, asatam, they are demons, they are materialistic persons. He gives dashushe, what is sought, anusmritya, anumriya. He gives his lotus feet to the bhakti yogis. So just like Prabhupada says here, he grants their specific destinations. He destroys suffering of the devotees. He gives Sayuja Mukti to the demons. He gives Shuddha Sattva to the Paramahamsas. He gives Brahman to the Bhakti Mishra Gyani. And he gives Prem to the pure devotees. Just like Yeyetavam Prapadyante Tam Sativa Bhajamyaham, according to how we surrender. Actually, it's only Krishna. Even the demigods, the worshippers, they worship Brahma, Ganesh, Shiv, but actually Krishna only is giving. They want to merge. Who's giving merging? Krishna. You cannot merge without Krishna's sanction. No way. You cannot do anything without Krishna's sanction.
It's also mentioned, Prabhu, that the Brahma Jyoti actually is not directly coming from Krishna, but from the glow of all the spiritual planets.
Yeah, there's two versions. One is the effulgence of his body. And number two, like you said, the effulgence of the Golok. Golok is so much self-effulgent that it shines forth everywhere. But you cannot fall down. That's why in 10.2.32, Lord Brahma is telling, Yenye Levindaksha Vimukta Maninas. They are thinking Avishuddha Buddhaya. Vimukta Maninas, they are thinking themselves liberated in the mind. Vimukta Maninas. But because they are Avishuddha Buddhaya, they fall down. Prabhupada says in the purport, in the word to word, from an imagined superior position. It doesn't say Brahman. They are thinking they are in Brahman. No. They are falling from an imagined superior position. So anyway, to go back to that verse 13, now is glorifying, basically 13 and 14 is glorifying the Lila avatars. In 12, it glorifies the Purush avatars, and now it's glorifying the Lila avatars. And we know everyone's going to get his fill. Everyone is going to get his ends met by the grace of the Lord. You want to rob a bank? If Krishna sanctions, you will manage to rob the bank. It cannot be so unless Krishna sanctions. Very simple philosophy.
Prabhu, I have a question about the different categories of sannyas. Kutichak, Bahudak, Parivrajakacharya, and Parahamsa.
Yeah, it's not so much the topic, but yes, go ahead. If I can answer.
All those sannyasis in these different categories, are they able to bring back, like Kutichak, Bahudak, Parivrajakacharya? Are they allowed to make disciples?
Right, yeah, of course. Even a Kanishka can make disciples. If the foolish disciple cannot detect that you're a Kanishta, you can be a guru. What's wrong with that? You're Kanishta guru. But unfortunately, you won't be able to bring your disciples higher than Kanishta. Prabhupada explained in that verse, Upadeshamrit number 5, very clearly. You're a Madhyam, your Madhyam Guru, okay, you can bring people up from Kanishta and a little bit from Madhyam.
Mhm.
But you can only help those who are below you. What if you initiate someone who is more advanced than you?
Mhm.
Like, for instance, you have seen Pundarik Vijayanidhi when Mukund, he brought Gadadhar Pandit to Pundarik Vijayanidhi. And we know the story, yeah? Gadadhar Pandit had
Yeah.
some severe doubts. How can this person be a devotee? I mean, lavish luxury, lavish, ivory everywhere, satin bed sheets, extremely well combed and chewing pan, looking at himself in the mirror, fanned by so many servants. Everything is like a demigod mansion, basically. Gadadhar Pandit has severe doubts. Then, of course, we know Mukund recited a few choices shlok from Bhagavatam. He entered a trance for 6-7 hours. It
Mhm.
took few men to calm him down. And then finally, Gadadhar understood his mistake. I have to redeem myself. Then he took initiation. And then only Pundarik Vijayanidhi said, it's my great fortune to initiate someone more advanced than me.
Mhm.
So he accepted. Of course, he's the father of Srimati Radharani. Gadadhar Pandit is Srimati Radharani.
Mhm.
So there's no
Mhm.
rasabas. But it may happen. It may happen.
Mhm.
It may happen that, but it is incumbent on the part of the disciple to make sure that as fast as possible, we cannot, especially when you deal with Uttam Bhagavat, you cannot make out if you're not an Uttam Bhagavat yourself.
Mhm.
But of course,
One-
you may say, another way to understand, we are all postmen, Prabhu. We give the letters, we don't subtract, we don't add up things to Srila Prabhupada. So I'm also bona fide. Yes, it's also true.
One time I was hearing a class from Gaur Govind Maharaj,
Ah,
and
it's beyond everyone.
he was saying that he was referring to that verse 434,
Yeah.
that the spiritual master, one should surrender to one who has seen the truth. So he's saying that there are many sannyasis, Maharaj, but they still have difficulty to see sometimes when there is how we call it, to take decision. They are not able to take because they are not seeing.
Yeah, of course.
He said Bhaktivinoda Thakur, when he was doing judgment, like anything, he could see the truth.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very true. It's very, very true. There's even in ISKCON, there's different levels of guru. Whom you're referring to is Mahabhagavat.
Mhm.
It reminds me when Tamal Krishna Maharaj went to see him in 87, because as we know, 80, when was that? When he was involved with Narayan Maharaj, and then he got discredited badly for that, and he was starting to lose lots of disciples. So he went to see Gaur Maharaj to take advice, and Gaur Maharaj told him, a guru doesn't fall down, because he's always speaking from the highest platform of pure devotional service. Prabhupada, when he saw him first, he said, did you take sannyas? He said, no, so I'll give you sannyas. That was his first exchange with Prabhupada. So we cannot deny that even in ISKCON, there's different levels. But at the end of the day, what is the function of the guru? My Guru Maharaj told me way back in 87, I will never be able to take you to Krishna. Never. He told me, I'll take you to Prabhupada. And I was very happy with that. So that's the role of the gurus in ISKCON. They cannot take us back to Krishna. They take us back to. Prabhupada is companion of Lord Krishna, of Mahaprabhu. That's all they have to do, to take us to Prabhupada. Okay, so let's see, 13. Yeah, so Vishwanath here. The sweetness of the Lord's mercy is now described. Again, I offer respects to you who destroy the suffering of your devotee by appearing as Ram, Krishna. You destroy the suffering of material existence for the sinful non-devotee. For the non-devotee Rakshasas and Asuras, you kill them. So you have a body of Shuddha Sattva. This is what Shukadev is saying. You are the shelter of the mood of the Paramahamsas. You are the giver of the bliss of Brahman to the Bhakti Mishra Gyani. You are the giver of the bliss of Prem to the pure devotees. So again, the same old point. Krishna is everyone. It's just sanctioning from different directions, but it actually is behind everyone. You want to merge? Okay, Krishna will allow you. You want to be killed by Krishna? Yes. You want to steal from Krishna? You want to worship the demigods? Whatever you do, it has to be sanctioned by Krishna. People are thinking, oh, I got that independently of Krishna. This is sheer foolishness. 14 is very important. We'll stop perhaps there because it's a very heavy verse. Namo namaste astu rishabhaya sattvatam vidul kashtayamuhu kuyoginam. We have seen that word. Kuyogi means non-devotees. There's anomaly. Nirasta samyati shayena radhasa. Swadamani Brahmani Ramsyate Namaha.
Let me offer my respectful obeisance unto him, who is the associate of the members of the Yadu dynasty, and who is always a problem for the non-devotees. He is the supreme enjoyer of both the material and spiritual worlds, yet he enjoys his own abode in the spiritual sky. There is no one equal to him because his transcendental opulence is immeasurable. So again, Sukdev Goswami is glorifying Krishna in connection with his relationship towards his devotees.
Yes.
How he is towards his devotees. We see the Yadu dynasty, the Vrajavasis, the Gopis, and even Arjuna's friend. And on the other side, how he deals with non-devotees. And Prabhupada is also mentioning about the quality of Krishna and explaining more about his effulgence.
Yes.
That is Brahma Jyoti. And we know that how Brahma Jyoti is, it's compared to the sun rays. And how there are jivas who are attracted to even to that sun rays, but ultimately we have to understand what is the Brahma Jyoti and ultimately develop love for Krishna as a person.
Yes. So here again, it seems to me that the biasness nature of the Lord may be at question here. Because see, it appears, if you look at the English, is always a problem for the non-devotees. We know he blesses the devotee, but it's a problem for the non-devotees. So again, it may appear that some people will complain he's biased. This is very recurrent topic in Bhagavatam. Is he biased or not?
You mean impartial?
Yeah, bias
impartial.
means, in English means you are parti pris. You take the side of someone. So that's again brought up here by Jiva Goswami, and I think we should spend some time because it appears in the Queen Kunti's prayers, remember? Queen Kunti says, only due to social intercourse, people think you are impartial. Queen Kunti is not in favor of saying he's partial at all. Only due to social intercourse, people are saying is partial. So let's discuss about that. What do you think? He's always caring for his devotees. He's always unavailable for the non-devotees. So it may seem that is bias in him. So how would you tackle this point?
See, Krishna, I mean, I will not agree that Krishna is biased. The
Yeah.
fact that Krishna, it's mentioned Krishna is a person. Even
Yes.
if he is the supreme personality of Godhead, he is impartial to everyone. But then as a person, and he's also, how you say, he's sold out to his devotees. He also have a heart that is attracted to those who loves him. So he gives equal attention to everyone, but then to his devotees, then it comes his person. I would say then his relationship, it's a personal relationship. He has the right to keep that as the Supreme Lord. So then he has this loving exchange with his devotees. Otherwise, Krishna, Supreme Lord, would be known to be just the judge. That he's
He's
he
a judge
doesn't
in the form of Paramatma,
yeah.
but he's not a judge in the form of Bhagwan.
No. So in the form of Bhagwan, it's almost like the judge who is at home,
Yeah.
who is so that makes Krishna complete as the Supreme Lord. Otherwise,
Yeah. So that's okay. I got your point. It's a very good point. And you too, Moshika Prabhu and Mataji, do you want to express yourself? Is he biased or not?
No, because for the demon also, Krishna, when he kills them, as you said, he gives them Savija Mukti, liberation. So, and
Okay.
so it's not possible.
So you
Bias.
you agree with Aranishta?
Yeah, I agree too, because like even the demons or any enemies get killed, they are liberated.
Okay. Okay.
Even
So
Puja,
at least
see,
you are definitely echoing one another. So now let's listen to Jiva Goswami. Very interesting the way he brings it. Remember, we may say, "Oh, Krishna is ranchor, is fatu. He fled away from the battlefield. 17 times he defeated Jarasandh, and 18 times he's gone with the wind. He's fatu." So no, because that night, what happened? This is the night he told Vishwakarma, you built Dwarka in one night. And first he had also to intervene in Dwarka for some other matters. So he's not fatu. And same story, when he steals the butter, the garments of the gopis, is he a thief? Yes. But being a thief for Krishna adds up to his quality, adds up to his bhav. There's no harm in Krishna. Is the thief? Yes. So it adds up to the love we should have for him, because whatever he does is for the all good of everyone. So Jiva Goswami goes, yes, he's biased. He has a biased nature, and we should explain it like this. And not explain that the Lord is not biased. And then he goes like this. This is not his defect, but his ornament. Just like he's a thief, it's an ornament. He's a fatu, it's an ornament. Therefore, Jiva Goswami says, in Akrura's glorification, we should actually explain that verse as a glorification of his biased nature. This is the ultimate conclusion. And it should be explained like this. It is not a defect, it's a good quality. Because the tendency is that Atmavan Manyate Jagat, we tend to superimpose our shortcomings definition of the words onto Krishna. It doesn't work. When you say bias in your mind as a human, you think, oh, it's a flaw. But for Krishna, nothing is a flaw. So Jiva Goswami goes, in essence, the Lord has inconceivable opulence, and by that potency, all his defects have been removed. Number one. Number two, although we have given so many explanations to probe his non-biased nature, and now we are saying he's biased. Actually, he is so inconceivable that there is no defect in it. That is the ultimate weapon against all arguments. And then he quotes 2:4:14, the verse today. We pay our obeisances to the Lord again and again, for he's always caring for his devotees. He's always unavailable for the non-devotees. It may seem as if there is some biased nature in him, but because he has inconceivable power, it is not a defect. Sridhar Swami, on this verse, the Lord's seeming biasness is not a defect because he has Ajintya Shakti, inconceivable power, by which he is situated in his own abode and his own glories. He doesn't need our verdict to find out if he's biased or not. Krishna doesn't need the moralist approval when they say he's a womanizer. Krishna doesn't need our verdict. Krishna doesn't need our arguments. Krishna doesn't need our words. He's situated in his own glories. Now, Bhishmadev, on the same issue, Savatmano Sandrisho, there's a verse. Lord Krishna is Savatma, Samadish, Advaya. He has no false ego. One shouldn't think he has a biased nature. He is freed from all this. He even became a messenger of the Pandavas. Thus, he's not bothered by thinking one thing and not another is worth doing. See, Krishna doesn't function like us. He's always free from everything. He has no false ego. If I tell you you're biased, you're going to be pinched in your false ego. So people may say, yes, he's biased. Do you think Krishna is troubled? Jiva Goswami carries on. And just see his mercy on his devotee. Or now, when I'm about to give up my life, this is Bhishma, sorry. When I'm about to give up my life heir, he has come here to give me his darshan. How kind is he to his devotees? How he cares for them. Samoham Savabhuteshu. The Lord says in the Gita, yes, I'm equal to one, I'm equal to all. No one is dear to me, no one is my enemy. To show that no one doesn't refer to his devotees, it refers to his non-devotees. So when the Lord cares for his devotees, it's not a defect in him. Because devotion is the essence of his Svarup Shakti. The essence of Svarup Shakti is Ladini, and Ladini's essence is devotion. And a devotee has that Ladini Shakti. So it's not a defect. The Lord wants to give pleasure to the devotee who has this Ladini Shakti. He manifests his own Ladini Shakti and gives him pleasure. So in other words, it's just a change of Ladini Shakti between the pure devotee and the Lord. You follow? Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikriti Ladini Shakti Rasmat. The manifestations of love between Radha and Krishna are transformations of Ladini Shakti. So the Lord has an exchange with Uddhav. Uddhav is already steeped in Ladini Shakti. So that's an exchange of Ladini Shakti from Uddhav to the Ladini Shakti of Krishna. That's all there is to it. He's not biased. He's just reciprocating to the love expressed through the Ladini Shakti of the devotee. Why? Because ultimately, his intent is to give pleasure to the devotees. That's the foremost and that deepest reason for his advent. He wants to give pleasure to the devotees. End of the story. See how Jiva Goswami explained? That's beautiful. Even if you say it's biased, still it's not a default. Because all these words do not apply for Krishna. Doesn't work. He's a thief. Yes, he's a thief if you want. He's a womanizer. Yes, if you want. It doesn't apply. He's doing it for the lila, to please his devotees. This is exchange of love only. Okay, I'll stop here. It's -4 here. Any point? Go ahead if you have anything to say. We have 4 minutes in one sense.
Oh, this is large, big chapters, Prabhu. Like all these chapters are so big.
This chapter is pretty big, yeah.
Yeah, you have to read a lot, which is okay.
Yeah, what we can do, I think it's a very good pattern. We just do an exam every 3 chapters, you know.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah. And I told the other group, the French group, I just gave them an exam on 9 chapters, and I told them I'll stop that. Now, from now on, I'll give you 3 chapters at a time.
3 to 5 chapters are good.
Yeah, you know, like I'll give you, now we're going to have Shrishti Tattva, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we'll do 4.
4, 5, 6, 7.
Because
Yeah,
8,
okay.
9, 10 is a different section. So we'll do 4, 5, 6, 7. 4 chapters.
That's good.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's too much, I agree. But
Yeah,
you're
too
lucky
much.
because I'm telling you, at my time, it was Buddhism. I don't even know if he would. I forgot if he would even break down the book. But it's like, I remember we used to have 200 questions, Puna Chandra Mataji. 200. You follow?
Yes. I know in Bhakti Shastri we had a lot of questions, like 50. I think in a Bhakti Shastri exam,
the level
but
has
it was
decreased.
multiple choice, eh?
It's really a fact. The level has decreased. It's Kali Yuga. 200 questions.
Oh, 200.
Can you imagine?
And you sit down and do it in front of him.
And I'm very lenient for the time. Did you notice? For the time constraint, I'm very lenient. But it was a different story. It was like 3 hours or something. I forgot. You know, and I remember they would go around the tables, 5 minutes, 2 minutes.
But you see, Prabhu, I mean, it's okay, but then it's too much materialistic way.
Yeah, that's why I'm very
to
lenient.
academic.
Did you notice? Did I put pressure on you? I give you sometimes devotees and give back their paper the day after. So for me, time is not an issue. I want precision and accuracy and a proper understanding of the tattva. That's why we'll do now, definitely we'll do 3, 4 chapters max at the time. Yeah. Aranisha speaking out. Don't worry, I won't do that.
Prabhu, in Krishna consciousness, you are awarded your degrees, diploma, what is it? Then you qualify yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Just like you become Brahmin and it's just like you're a driver. I got my driving license, Prabhu. Why do you put a big A on the rear windshield? You don't know how to drive. I just got my license. You're still learning. You're still wet behind the ears. So in the same
Mhm.
way, you're a Brahmin, are just brand new beginners, basically.
Mm.
We are apprentice up to Nirgun Bhakti, we are apprentice. Very simple.
Mm.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna,
We'll meet
Prabhu.
on Wednesday. Eh?
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Very good, Prabhu.